going live to know that the call-in is actually working. Someone just tried to call, but that was right at the beginning of the show, and I was a little bit busy. And if you do have a question, you can definitely put it into the chat, or if you do want to call in, I'll get that set up for you in a second. If you have a question for Husima or anybody on the show, Shannon, myself, we're definitely here to help and serve you as much as possible. So we'll get right back to you, Husima, and we want to bring
Thank you
on
so much for
Doc.
having me here at Both Couch. I'm really amazed and really thrilled to move forward.
Thank you very much. So our next guest is Dr. Nijan Suban, and she's coming all the way from Europe, and she's a survivor. Are you ready there, Doctor? I'm gonna bring you on
Can,
stage.
can you hear me?
Definitely, we can hear you. How are you doing?
Oh, excellent. Very good. It's very early here in
I
Europe.
know you said it's about 4 a.m., and I really appreciate you coming to serve, to come and tell your story.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
I'm gonna,
yes,
I'm gonna kick off the stage, and we're gonna leave you to introduce yourself.
yes. My name is Dr. Naya Zupan. I'm a mentor in multidimensional intelligence activation and founder of um, Energy Masters Academy. We actually support change makers to um, to really get a high potential to start to live high potential, and at the same time to stay healthy. Um, and this was actually the change that I also brought after the cancer story. What actually began as my cancer healing at the end was actually like um, my complete reconstruction of my life, reconstruction of my purpose, and um, rebuilding of complete my vitality and health. So, from my perspective, cancer was a really positive story. How I got diagnosed was through I meditated. And I heard one voice saying to me, "Leah, you have cancer." And mm, at first, I just want to erase everything. And then the voice said, "Naya, pay attention, you have cancer." Okay. And then in a few days, I went for a doctor and they confirmed it was aggressive form of ductal hormonal dependent cancer. It was stage 3 plus. And then, of course, they suggested um, 10 rounds of 3 days chemotherapies. They suggested 35 radiations treatments. They suggested 5 years of hormonal treatment, but I knew the story behind. All my female ancestors passed away for cancer. I was BRCA gene positive, and because of all these stories in the family, I said no to the chemotherapy, hormonal therapy, and radiation. Although, according to their words, I had only 5% chances to survive inter- without any chemical intervention. But here I am. I don't treat myself, or I don't call myself a survivor, because survival means something, person who battled. But in fact, I was healed in only 6 months, actually only 3 months. Because at the beginning, I started to battle the cancer. So I was fighting with it, but then I recognized that this is not my way that I really want. So I started to love cancer. So with loving, um, uh, when I embraced everything what was happening in my life, only in 3 months, uh, the doctors said that there is nothing anymore. So from my perspective, love really heals, and that was the true um, um, I would say outgrowing story of the cancer. So that enabled me to really start and to reconstruct my entire life. That is in short.
Wow, Dr. Suban, that is a very powerful story. How you
Thank you.
meditated and found your cancer. And you said, what, 3 months you went back and it was gone?
Yes, exactly. In 3 months. Yeah, in 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely can relate to your story. And I want you to stick around for a little bit longer because we want to share some of those tips that maybe you can share and hopefully um, leave your contact information so we can get the public to contact you to contact us that maybe are looking for different solutions or maybe haven't been diagnosed. um, Shannon, do we have any statistics right now as what's going on with breast cancer and everything like that? We'll bring you back in a second there, Doc, unless you have anything you want to say before we bring you right back.
Um, I would really like to say that whatever option you choose for your healing, it's very important that you work also on your personal and spiritual development because all illnesses, including cancer, they are here. We get them only because we need some. To make some steps. For example, I said that when I embraced love in my life, in my body, I embraced also cancer with love. Um, Love is really high frequency, and with and all emotions uh, high frequency emotions are gratitude, are uh, love, our peace. So we need to practice this. Um, when many people say that they are battling cancer, but battling means anger, and anger is really low frequency. So what I really suggest, no matter what path of healing you select, that is really, really important that you work on yourself and um, uh, start to practice or laughter, joy. What actually I decided when the doctor said to me what chances I have to survive and that this is aggressive form and that is very advanced. I had two lumps, so one was 2 centimeter, one was 1 centimeter, and it was one lesion. This lesion was about 3 centimeters wide. Um, so when doctor said, she said this to me, she revealed this to me with really sad face. But I said, "Oh, thank you for this. I was really, started practicing all this, um, all this what I felt, all this gratitude. Oh, I'm so thankful to know now. I know exactly what to work on." And when I came out of the office, I decided that I at least 1 hour per day I'm going to sing, laugh, and dance. No matter whether I will live 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, 1 month, 1 year, or more. So laugh, sing, dance, as this is your really last day, and you enjoy it. And joy is also really, really high frequency. That's why, as you said, with my gift for the audience, I have one very special um, ebook guide, 7 steps, energy um, energy mastery in action, and the where you get it is high frequency energy formula.com, because with these practices that are described in this guide, really help you to keep high frequency no matter what path of healing you select. So high frequency energy formula.com. It's in English, so high frequency energy formula.com, and you get
This
this
ebook.
book, yeah, this ebook that you can practice high frequency energy every single day. I'm still doing. It's more than 13 years back when I was diagnosed, and since I was healed, nothing appeared anymore, and I know that I healed. I actually cured the roots with what I was watching, observing during the time when my mother, my grandmother, my aunts were passing away for cancer. They actually didn't tap into the roots, what caused the illness. And it's very important, to find the cause. And I found it with everything what I'm doing in life. I found the cause, and because I found it and removed the cause, I changed, I transformed, I outgrew it. That's why I really know that cancer story for me is not possible anymore. I'm completely different person. Yeah, personality, mission, yeah, everything.
All right, stay tuned. Stay with us. Give us about a couple minutes, Doc, and then we're going to bring you back for the fire round. Maybe we're going to talk about some of
Yeah.
the things we've already said, but we want to drive home what options there are for people. So stay right with us. We just have Charity on the stage, but give us 1 second, Charity. Shannon, do you have those statistics for us? I can't hear you.
Sorry, I did mute myself. So I do have some statistics on breast cancer. Um, so let's go over them really quick. Um, so basically in sorry, I'm just cleaning it up so I don't read anything extra. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. In 2025, the American Cancer Society, which is in the US, estimated about 316,950, so almost 317,000 cases, new cases of invasive breast cancer in women, and about 59,080 new cases of ductal carcinoma in situ, or DCIS, in the US. So that's a total of 376,030 cases, new cases in 2025 in just the US, which is staggering. I also want to mention that in 2022, about 279,700 new breast cancer cases were reported in females in the US. I do want to remind people that breast cancer doesn't just happen in women, men get it too. So, men, please know that you are also at risk and that you also need to do those. You might not have big boobs, but you need to do those breast self exams and feel your chest and make sure that there's nothing wrong and see your doctors. And if you do feel that something's not right, like a lump or skin changes or any of those symptoms that we talk to women about, those apply to you too. So although these statistics are about women, I will give some later on about men as well, if that's okay with you, Gregory. But right now I'm going to focus on women. In 2023, about 42,213 women died from breast cancer in the US. The lifetime risk for US women developing invasive breast cancer is about 13%, or 1 in 8. And the chance of women will die from breast cancer is about 1 in 43, or around 2.3%. I do also want to say that there are disparities. Black women, despite similar incidence rates, have a higher mortality from breast cancer compared to white women, and that also applies to other minorities. As of January 2022, I don't have the new statistics as of this year or last year, but there were over 4 million women in the US living with a history of breast cancer or being survivors. Globally, in 2022, there was an estimated 2.3 million new cases of breast cancer globally and about 670,000 deaths from it. Breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in women in 157 countries out of 185. That was the statistics in 2022. Globally, half of breast cancer cases occur in women without any classical risk factors besides being female and older age. However, I do want to note that the rates of breast cancer are rising in young adults. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. If current trends continue of incidence of the disease, by 2050, new breast cancer cases may rise to 3.2 million per year and deaths to 1.1 million per year globally. And between 2020 and 2040, estimates suggest female breast cancer incidence may increase around 31% globally. In many countries, especially those with lower human development indices, mortality is higher relative to incidence, which means that patients have worse incomes compared to developed countries. I also want to note that worldwide in 2022, there were approximately 20 million new cancer cases and 9.7 million cancer deaths globally, and breast cancer attributed to 2.3 million of those cases. Breast cancer was among the leading cause, around 6.9% of cancer deaths globally. And like I said, by 2050, new cases globally may rise to 35 million annually, which is around a 77% increase from 2022. The burden of cancer is rising, especially in low and middle income countries, partly due to aging, population growth, and shifts in risk factors like smoking, obesity, and not exercising, as well as diet. And I do want to mention that if you can do a mammogram, self exams are great, but you definitely need to do your mammogram and your breast cancer screenings on time and when you're due, because at least if you do have breast cancer, it can be caught early. And when it's caught earlier, you have a better chance of having a better outcome and surviving it. Metastatic breast cancer right now, there is no cure. And even though you can live a long life with metastatic breast cancer, it is terminal. So you want to make sure that if you do get breast cancer, you do that mammogram and you catch it early. I know a lot of women are scared of getting their boobies smushed in a machine, but I've done several and they're actually not as painful as you would think. And I have pretty big boobs. So I can attest that honestly, a few moments of discomfort is worth doing a health screening and knowing that you're healthy, or at least catching something early when you can have less invasive procedures, less harsh treatments, and you have a better outcome and a better chance of survivalship or being cured. Although there is no cure for cancer, there is technically, you can be cured and not have a recurrence for the rest of your life. But you're better off having a chance of that if you do your screenings and you catch this early, just like with any cancer. So I do want to mention that. And then I'll look up some men's statistics for you because it's really important that we look out for our men too.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And I want to let Charity introduce herself, but just before she does, Rhonda, I really want to take a pause for a second, because one thing that I really heard that we need is more love. I think you can just bless us with a quick verse that would introduce more love for ourselves, so we can maybe do the self-examinations, maybe do the meditation and ask God to show us where these nodules are, or whatever the case is. Let's hear what you got to say.
So God heals the brokenhearted. And that comes from, yes, God heals the brokenhearted, and that comes from, and I apologize, the scripture comes from Jeremiah. I apologize.
That's okay. We don't have to have the exact scripture, but you can find it if you want. But God definitely does heal the brokenhearted, and I'm a true believer. I can
God
attest to
heals
that.
the brokenhearted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So while you're finding that scripture, Charity, welcome to the stage. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We can't hear you. No, we still can't hear you. Your mic is off, but no volume. Still nothing there, Charity. Let's see if we can get your sound to get going there in a second. And see if Rhonda's ready. Are you ready there, Rhonda?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh. Okay, you're up on stage. You just have to open up your camera and then yeah. I can definitely hear you now. We can see you.
Okay, Psalms 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds.
I think that says it all. So I definitely think Dr. Zupan is up to something, and it comes straight from the Bible. Let's see. Okay, Charity is off and getting her stuff done. Let's bring everybody on stage. And Usima, are you there? We're ready. We're gonna do some fire rounds.
Yes. I thought I'll just stay quiet for a while, listening to wonderful people.
You know what? There's one lady that never got to introduce herself, and I'm gonna give her an opportunity, and that is Regina. Regina, you there?
I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
The stage is yours.
Hi, I'm Regina Polk. I am a health counselor, and I don't have a personal. I haven't been personally affected as far as myself with breast cancer, but I do have relatives who were affected My mom is a survivor, and my sister unfortunately passed away from it, but she had it 3 times. And her last case, she had it metastasized. But the one thing that I've listened to the other ladies, and I am grateful that you are alive and you took other measures to take a look at the, different options for um, for basically up leveling your health to improve your quality of life and also to help the body heal. But my journey is as far as I have a autoimmune condition that I suffered from, and changing the lifestyle and dietary habits. With me, I have been able to up level and improve my health and maintain being off medications for this particular autoimmune condition, and just want to share with others, just like I'm sure others on here, that there are options available where you don't have to become so dependent on over the counter medications or prescriptions. And so I'm really happy to be here to participate and to learn from others what they have gone through in their health journey and can possibly help in mine also. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, Regina. And Charity, how are you doing there? Can we hear you now?
Hopefully, I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, most definitely. Tell us all about yourself.
Awesome. Okay, so my name is Charity Owens, and I am in healthcare. Throughout the years, and to say healthcare, we do home healthcare. We go into the elderly's home and we take care of them at their end of life stages. And with that being said, I've witnessed so many deaths stemming from cancer, right? Not just breast cancer, but the whole entire spectrum. And, even though, I never experienced cancer within my own body, it's a bit traumatic, right? When you're looking at the statistics and seeing all of these people are dying from this one particular disease over the next, and you kind of ask yourself, well, what can I do to prevent this? And so I did some reading, and throughout my discovery, I've realized that you are what you eat, right? If you're putting dead food inside of your body, then it's going to produce that same effect. And so there are certain things that people can do to lower their chances and completely fight the disease if it's already active within your body. And that's radically changing your diet, right? Sugar intake, um, meat, processed foods. I mean, we're particularly being in America, I've discovered that it's so easy to consume quickly, right? You're going to these fast food restaurants, and to be honest with you, they don't really care about what they're putting in their foods. And so we're skipping the organic and we're going for the quick remedy. And while it may supplement us for the moment, the longevity, the long-term effects are detrimental. And so that's my story. I have radically changed my diet. I have 6 children, and so I want to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up, for some type of disaster in the long run. And I can share that book with you and all of those different remedies that we've kind of consumed over the years in order to make sure that we're healthy for the long run.
Thank you for Charity for coming and blessing us with your wisdom. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get some much more. So let's start off with the fire round. So you guys can see there's a timer at the top. Try to keep it to a minute, but we've heard your stories from the survivors here. And now we want to hear from the professionals, and some of the professionals are survivors. But what stood out and what can we all learn from it? But I think Shannon brought up a good thing about getting checked and mammograms and stuff. But my question to the panel would be, how could women protect their bodies during chemotherapy? Anybody want to
Well,
go first?
yeah, I'll go for it. Well, chemotherapy is really painful, as I have already told you. That doesn't only affect your body, but your mind mentally. Obviously, you are facing something so serious, and you're not even understanding what tomorrow is going to be like. So yes, I think chemotherapy is plays a huge role when you are surviving. If your chemotherapy goes good, smooth, and the white cells in you are balanced, anyhow, you are not having any other infection apart from the disease you are facing in. So yes, it goes smooth and it goes with the process. But to be there and control everything physically and mentally, you need to have the correct diet. Intakes of vegetables and juices are like very, very, very helpful during those, and it keeps you fresh. It keeps you hydrated as well, because when you are going through chemotherapies, you do not like to drink water. I am just sharing my personal experience. I was so not happy with the water intake. So yes, fruits and vegetables help you uh, stay hydrated and stay sorry about that, and stay in that proper weight. You don't have to lose a lot of weight while going through chemotherapies, because you have to be strong. You have to have that power. That is from my side.
Thank you so much, Shishima. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to answer that question? All right.
Maybe I can answer. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I didn't opt it for any chemical intake, but if the person selects this path, I also suggest the same. So drink a lot of water, eat a lot of vegetables, but most of all, pray a lot. Be connected with God. Stay in a huge embrace of peace, because as today also was said, God heals. Or you can call it God, Allah, or Buddha, or whatever deity you call, whatever religion you are in, something that is huger than we are. So stay like really in arms of the universe, and keep this faith and trust that everything is going to be all right.
Sorry about that. I just had to take care of something in the chat there. But moving on, how can faith and science work together in healing? Anybody want to answer that?
I can. So I know for sure that there's a gut brain, connection with my colorectal cancer, but there's a brain body connection, which we know our brain controls everything in our body. And I have this thing called loose knees. I surf, and I believe that my faith and my positivity and everything else, like my family, even my pets, keep me afloat on my board so I can ride the waves. And a rogue wave in my life was my colon cancer. It just came out of nowhere and was absolutely destructive. And I had to rebuild from it, and I had to find a way to ride all the waves that it brought with it afterwards, all the aftershocks, everything. But one thing that's really important is that faith gives us hope, faith gives us strength, faith keeps us positive, faith keeps us grounded, faith makes us believe that we can do things that ordinarily we wouldn't believe that we could do. And I'm talking faith, and it doesn't matter whether which God you believe in, what religion you practice, or whether you just believe in the universe and energy. It doesn't matter as long as you have some kind of spirituality and something that you look to when just everything else seems overwhelming. That's what I consider faith. So it doesn't have to be a practiced, organized religion. I want to make that clear. But I honestly believe that my faith, when I heard the words, "You have cancer," and my first thought was, "Oh God, this is going to be one heck of a fight." But I knew that I had God with me. I knew I had the power to heal me. And keeping that through my mind, and even when I was doing chemo, I would actually do like meditation practices where I would imagine when I was going through infusion for the 3 days continuously every other week for 6 months, I would actually imagine my body, my mind controlling my cells, controlling the chemo flowing through my veins, and actually destroying the cancer cells. And I also believe that positive patients, they do have better outcomes. It might not be scientific, but I do believe that positive thinking, which comes from faith and everything else, even our personalities and who we are, it really does help us heal. It really does help us, to fight whatever illness and whatever it is in our body that's trying to hurt us and kill us. So I do definitely believe that faith and our brain and our mind, they have so much power, and they really play a crucial part in our healing and even in our cure and even helping our treatments work better. So I mean, that's my own personal belief, and I think it's really important that we consider that. And as my doctor said, man can give you a prognosis, but only God knows. And that's faith, because according to science, I shouldn't be here right now. So I am a testimony that faith really, miracles are real, and God can heal even when science thinks that they can't. So I just wanted to say that, and I don't know what everyone else thinks, but that's my own opinion
No,
and my
I
own
truly
experience.
believe, you, and this is the same goes with me. I trusted my Almighty, and this is why I am alive today, because I just wanted to be alive, but I did not have any purpose of life. Today, not only I am alive, but I still have a purpose of life to change life of people. Obviously, I'm not somebody who can change it overall, but I can definitely help them choose their own paths. So yes, this is how it helps. Your mental health is the first key for your survival, and you need to have people around you who love you, but you need to love yourself the most.
I just
I
wanted to
agree.
remind every I just wanted to remind everybody that we are live, and if you do have any questions for our guests, if you do have any questions for yourself, or you have a story that you want to share, you can definitely come on live. All you have to do is call 1-855-669-2677. That's 1-855 now boss. Okay. And we'll definitely bring you on. And we're going to be moving into the next segment here. Some of the topics we've already talked about, some we haven't. And we just want to maybe just keep this brief and quick and maybe go through everybody. But mammograms. So we're going to go from bad and good. So maybe one person can list something good, and then maybe something can list something bad. So mammogram detection versus radiation risk. So I'll go first. So mammograms squishing the breast is definitely, I wouldn't say not the best scenario. Why? Because when you compress all them cells and with the radiation risk, you can definitely cause more damage.
I do
Anything
want to
else?
say I do want to say though, we have to consider the risk benefit ratio. So that's why we push mammograms. It's a low radiation risk compared to the benefit of possibly catching this early. And some breast cancers do tend to be really invasive. So that's why it's really important to do your mammograms on time. I'm going to just put in my personal thing here. I'm a colon cancer survivor. I have medical fatigue. I'm tired of doctors. I'm tired of scans. I'm tired of being poked, prodded, cut, have IVs in me, hospitalizations, all of it. I'm tired. And over 14 years, I mean, I spent 3 weeks in the hospital just in September, despite being a survivor and cancer free. So I honestly skipped out on my mammograms for a little while, for 2 years. And when I went and did this mammogram this year in April, they found a very concerning lump that wasn't there 2 years ago. Now, because I didn't do a mammogram for 2 years, we don't know how quick it's been growing. We don't know what it is. And so now I have to do mammograms every 6 months for the next 2 years. Whereas if I had done my mammograms when I should have been, I might actually be at the point now of finding out whether it's nothing or something. So I set myself back 2 years in the time frame because I skipped a simple test that I knew that I should have done. I have a family history of breast cancer as well. So it's really important that I should have done my screenings. And so I'm using my own testimony to share with you that, having colon cancer and then having an abnormal mammogram and not knowing what's going on and being on a watch and wait, you never believe that a lump is normal, and it's always very triggering. So the mental aspect of that is way worse than if I had done my mammograms every year like I should have done. So I want to use that to urge you to spend a little bit of time to do your screenings, do your colonoscopies, do your pap smears, do your mammograms. Men, do your colonoscopies, test for breast cancer, do your self exams, check your prostate, do it all. Check your lungs out if you're having difficulty breathing. Like, healthcare is self care, and if you love yourself, you've got to do your scans and take care of your health. You can't love yourself and not take care of yourself health wise and trying to catch these things early, because everyone is at risk. And the way that the world is right now, everyone is at increased risk. Cancer is so prevalent. And, like I said, breast cancer has been affecting men too, young men even. So we really need to spread the word like what we're doing and have these conversations. And like I said, I do a colonoscopy every year. Yes, colonoscopies are considered risky. But for me, the risk benefit ratio, which we need to think about, and I want everyone to look what that is. It's, does the risk outweigh the benefit, or does the benefit outweigh the risk of whatever scan or procedure you're doing? And as far as I'm concerned, if you do a mammogram, the benefit is possibly catching it early or being at ease because you don't have breast cancer. And the risk to that is very minimal when you consider the radiation. And now they also do the radiation, the regular mammogram. And then if they see anything or you have dense breasts, then they'll do an ultrasound, which has no radiation. So I want you to consider that. But it's really important. A little bit of radiation is better than finding out that you have stage 4 breast cancer when it's too late for you to even be curable, and you're terminal. Like, a breast cancer diagnosis is still a terminal diagnosis. You're going to die from it at some point. And that's not something that anybody wants. So it's better to catch it early and do your screenings. Like I said, even with my colonoscopy, I say it all the time, a little bit of discomfort for a short amount of time is better than chemos and radiation and surgeries and maybe mastectomies and then maybe reconstruction and then having to be on medications for the rest of your life and continued doctor's appointments, which I can tell you for 14 years, it's really tiring. You don't want that. It's much better to do that mammogram and whatever other scan you need to do. And that's the most important message that I could give anyone.
So the next topic is surgery. So you got quick fixes or root cause. Anybody want to go with that?
I
Quick
think
fix or root
it's
cause?
I think it's better to discover the root cause on the initial stage rather going for the surgeries, because surgeries are painful and after process is also painful. So why not just going for your screenings, your blood tests, and your routine medical checkups beforehand?
Anybody else?
And do your
Um,
screenings before you have
I
symptoms.
would, yeah, I would go. So what is really, really important is really calm down. This world is so in fast pace that nobody listens to him or herself. So what I suggest is really to sit and just keep breathing, just pay attention to everything what is going on inside you. So what actually means discovering root cause? It's not as the doctor says, um, that it's I don't know, genes or these damaged cells, cancer cells. This is not the cause. The cause is in different patterns. For example, survival mode pattern, or inherited trauma, or scarcity, or karma. Probably somebody of you know what karma is. It's coming from expression, or this word is coming from Eastern, but it means actually that are lessons that we need to learn. So all the disease, no matter what disease this is, it's here only to help us to evolve, to become more human being. So for me, discovering root cause was not in a physical sense, but it was in personal and spiritual sense. And I really, although all my female ancestors, all of them, so my mother, all my aunts, uh, grandmothers, all passed away from cancer. So it was running something in the family. And I was just next one on the row. But because I have discovered the true cause of the cancer and removed it from my bones, from my spirit, from my soul, um, this means no doctor appointments, no treatments, aggressive chemicals to my body, no aggressive examinations, because I healed myself. I outgrew the cancer. I became a completely different person. So this is really important, and not patients, clients um, that um, want to go for a really natural healing with me, it have the same experiences. It was 3 years back that I had one client. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and because doctors said that they don't have anything to do anymore. So we started to work on it. And in only 1 year, he was cancer free, and still now he's cancer free because we removed he, everything what caused the cancer. And this is not just food. Yes, for many people, food is very important because, as was today said already, that food, processed food, unorganic food is not healthy. Yes, that I agree with this. But the cause is in your soul, it's in your spirit, it's in your personality. So what I advise really to find the roots of the cancer and outgrow, grow. Yeah, change yourself.
I definitely want to weigh into this because I have a client that had breast cancer and went through all of the motions of getting the surgery and doing the mammogram, getting the surgery, doing the chemo, and the cancer came back. And the doctor, only thing the doctor was interested in was going to do the same thing all over again, doing the surgery, doing the chemo. And, you know, Einstein said doing the same thing over and over is insanity. And
Exactly.
I truly believe that if you really have to get the surgery done, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to tell you not to get the surgery. But I am a holistic, professional, and I will tell you that you still need to address the root cause of the issue, because I don't want you to end up to be just like my client doing the same thing all over again. So the client came to me with the situation, and I basically told him exactly what we needed to do. And I said, this is what the doctor is going to do. The doctor is going to be pressuring you. They're going to be calling you every 5 minutes to come and get the surgery. They're going to be calling you every 5 minutes to redo the mammogram. They're going to be calling you to the point that the doctor dropped that person as a patient because they decided to go the holistic route. And I believe that there's a pathway for both routes. It's just when we decide what we're going to do, we should support each other doing it. But either way, finding the root cause is definitely what's needed. So the next topic is going to be prescription drugs. So short-term stabilizers versus long-term trap. I mean, with breast cancer, one of the things that come up is improper estrogen levels and hormones. Anybody want to go first? Short-term stabilizers versus long-term trap.
I don't have any experiences in drugs because I declined everything. But my hormones were on at that time on a roller coaster. So estrogens were really like playing, really high levels. But hormones are just expression of emotions, deep emotions of subconscious. So I go again to the option: discover yourself, what is going on in your roots.
So our next segment is about what really works, what's hype, and when to go to Western. So there's a lot of things on Google, and we don't want to bash Google and we don't want to bash Western, but we want to go through some of these things. So detox and cleanses. So some people have gentle versus extreme. Know your limits. And remember, this is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, but has anybody on the panel heard about any detoxes for breast cancer?
Yes, of course, I did. I did them. I'm I'm an example. Not that I cured myself with detox, but yes, I helped with detox from my detoxification processes because cancer cells, by itself, they produce over 60 different toxins. So, in the process of embracing myself with love, to really let go all these low frequency emotions from my bones, from my soul. Yeah, that was the process. And during this process, I opted also to cleanse, to detoxify my body with, I underwent five five detoxification processes that lasted from 10 to 35 days. And it's a different range. So the longest one, so 35 days, was Ayurvedic. Um, Ayurvedic detoxification process, but I also did detoxification with juices and cleaning my colon, cleaning my liver, cleaning my lungs, my lymphatic system, because lymphatic system take around your body cancer cells that metastasize, that causes metastasis in your body. So it was very important for me to really cleanse also lymphatic system. So this is, and it was a really liberating process, not just liberating from my body point of view, but also from my spiritual point of view. When I did this detoxification processes, uh, I felt really new energy flowing through my body. But yes, I agree. Harsh detoxification processes or very long-term detoxification processes can be also dangerous. So you need to do it with somebody who knows how to do it.
Any practitioners here ever had a bad Hexheimer's effect or any of their clients? Regina, Charity? No?
You mean practitioner for detoxification?
I just want to know if they have any stories that they want to share. Charity to the stage. You ever had a bad Hexheimer's effect there, Charity? Regina, no?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
If you ever had a bad Hexheimer's effect or any of your clients?
Not familiar.
That's all right. Well, I know that Hexheimer's effect is definitely a thing. And for everybody, it's a little bit different. So anytime that you're trying something new, you should definitely go slow. That's with anything, because it might go a little bit too fast and not get the result that you really want at the beginning. But sometimes short-term pain is long-term gain. Okay, so the next one is structured water. I want to get Regina in here. Can you hear me, Regina?
I can. I can hear you.
Structured water, rebuilding the terrain safely. So I know that you haven't had cancer, but family members, what do you do with your clients to rebuild the terrain safely after or even before?
What I what I help do is focus on the gut and that elimination stage to make sure that that system is utmost healthy because, excuse me, because as a lot of people know, the gut is the key to a lot of the how the systems, other systems in the body works. And particularly with breast cancer, it can help regulate the hormones. And you want to make sure that you have that strong that strong organ, especially with the gut wall and the lining. You definitely want to have that going so that way you can have a proper movement of the toxins and everything that needs to be expelled instead of having a breakdown of walls and leaky gut to have any of those toxins or anything foreign material that can come back into the bloodstream and can affect the body in a negative way. And so that is my primary focus is um, basically having that gut in really good shape so that way you can do the detoxes, you can have the flushes going through because you want to have a system going that that you can just eliminate efficiently.
Sorry, pressed the wrong button. Thank you so much, Regina. I definitely want to get your expertise out there. But Charity, let's hear from you right now. The next topic is about skin and lymph care. Do you have a regular routine when it comes to checking your lymphatic system or doing a lymphatic massage?
Water, water, water. Um, Make sure that I am intaking water as much as possible. Um, Spring water, to be exact, without all of the chemicals and fluoride of tap water, alkaline. Make sure that the pH balance is between 8 and 9, which helps neutralize the buildup. And infused water, lemons, also like cucumbers within the water, um, that all exudes throughout your pores.
Well, definitely, water is definitely needed for the lymphatic system. Any practitioner here or survivor does regular lymphatic massages.
I do regularly. Even in this my free ebook, it's a simple massage, lymphatic massage, but I usually do also deep lymph stimulation. Um, when I was diagnosed with cancer, this was a regular daily practice, so stimulating deep tissue, deep lymph flow. But now, just from time to time, to really get it working properly, and structured water is very important also for me. So I drink it still every single day.
Anybody else have a
Yes.
lymphatic massage routine?
Even I do same, because water is really important for our body, and everything relies on it. Definitely, this is something very important for us, for our overall well-being.
Well, I'm going to speak a little bit about lymphatic care. And since I became a practitioner, if we're not detecting and correcting what's happening inside the body, we're going to be missing where the stagnant flow is with the lymphatic system. And the stagnant flow in the lymphatic system is one of the keys to, not developing breast cancer. And I believe that we should start to teach our children from, when they come out of the womb, we should be doing lymphatic massages on them. And we should be showing them once they get old enough to continue to do it every day. The skin is one of the largest organs in the body. And when you have one of the largest organs in the body and you're not taking care of it, things are going to go wrong. So I highly suggest, there's lots of videos on YouTube. If you want to get a private consultation with Dr. Supan or me or any other professional on here, that will definitely help you with the lymphatic massage. But if you're not doing lymphatic massage, I highly suggest that we start tonight, tomorrow. This is definitely one of the keys. If anybody here does have a question for any of the guests, or maybe you just got a diagnosis of breast cancer, maybe somebody in your family, whatever the case is, the call line is still open. It's 1-855-NOW-BOSS. That's 1-855-NOW-BOSS. And we definitely want to take your stories, your questions, and we want to make sure that you don't develop the breast cancer, but if you do have it, that you're supported either way. And if you already are in remission, we want to keep you there. So let's bring everybody back on here. And
May I say something?
oh, 100%.
in regards to what you were saying, water is definitely important, but I do dry brushing, which helps stimulate the lymphatic drainage. So that is also helpful too, just dry brushing.
I do dry brushing too, but I love the dry brush just before the sauna. So I live in Canada and a cold climate, and it doesn't get warm. And I highly suggest men, women, if you're not sweating, minimum 40 minutes a day, you need to get to a dry sauna and do that dry brushing before, and do 20 minutes of sauna, go do some cardio after, do some weightlifting or something, and then go back into the sauna. I'm telling you, you will not forget it. It will definitely see a lot less issues in your body, less inflammation, and who doesn't want beautiful skin? I know I love beautiful skin. Okay. One thing that I wanted to talk about, I don't think I got the video up here, so I guess we're going to go about the video, is when I was getting this call together, I saw a statistic about moms breastfeeding and how breastfeeding actually lowered the risk of breast cancer. And it was saying, like, moderately, it can lower the breast cancer risk by 4.3%. And if you're breastfeeding for 12 months, that rate increases. I'm a holistic professional, and I always preach, let's stop drinking the cow's milk and let's drink the human milk. So my question to the panel is that, do you believe that women that start breastfeeding should stop breastfeeding in order to save face with their breasts and lacticity, or keep on breastfeeding to keep themselves and their family nutritious while reducing the breast cancer? And I love to get an answer from everybody.
Well, I've breastfed 6 children, right? And some all the way up into 2 years old. And it is, the benefit is far outweighs this vain thought of what you think the outside looks to you, or what you feel like your breast may look like afterwards. The children, they have a stronger immune system, they're smarter. It's just so many different benefits from breastfeeding your children in general. And then in regards to milk, right? Um, these cows, no other species in the world drinks another animal's milk to feed their children. Um, if you are trying to feed a cow, then you feed it cow milk, right? Not a child cow milk. It has properties within the cow milk that produces cancer causing reactions within a person's body. And it's proven. You can look it up. Antibiotics that they put into those cows, they have a reactive cancer causing property within it. So you have to make sure that you're feeding your children, starting from an early age, the right things, so that they can grow to be those strong, healthy individuals that you want them to be.
Yeah, thank you very much, Charity. Anybody else? Who's next?
I agree very much that mother's milk is very, very healthy for children, and even for the mother, because during breastfeeding, different positive hormones are produced. So your body is flushed with dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and all of this is a really preventive care for any sort of any disease. So through breastfeeding, you are not preventing just health of your child, but also your health because your positive um, positive hormones are indoors.
Who's next? You see him? Are you there? Or we lost your connection? Is there any topic that anybody here that wants to talk about that we miss that they believe someone needs to hear to
I
help
do.
them do the fight or not get into the fight? Go ahead.
So I just want to talk about the power of the healing in forgiveness. And so the benefits of forgiveness is has impacts on your mental health, it has impacts on your physical health. And I just also want to share a story with you, a poem. I am the story.
Okay, thank you very much.
Maybe
That
maybe I can add also something about emotions. I remember this, like Regina said about forgiveness. Yes, yeah, it's forgiveness. For example, for cancer, is characteristic is a guilt and shame. So find out what deep in your heart lies connected to guilt and shame, and forgive yourself and forgive others for everything what you have done and what others have done to you. And this is one of the most powerful ways to self development and self growth.
anybody else have some wisdom, something that we miss that somebody needs
I
to
would
hear?
like to add in. I know we spoke slightly on detoxing, but I also wanted to kind of most animals when they don't feel well, they'll go in hibernation. They won't eat, and then they'll allow their bodies to fight off the disease. But when we continue, if we're not feeling good, and we continue to put food on top of food, you're not allowing your body to I would say dissolve of those toxic characteristics that you have in your body that could potentially cause harm later on. If you would allow, even totally fasting and then slowly reintroducing food in your bodies little by little, such as if I went on a water fast for 3 days and then I would slowly eat fruit. Let's see how that fruit affects my body, right? And then intake some vegetables, and then if start with your meats, and see how that makes your body feels, because your body talks to you, right? I was eating some salmon, and it had a whole bunch of different things on it, and I said, "Why does my head hurt? What is it? Why am I feeling slightly lightheaded?" The the food that I was eating is telling me something in there that is not agreeing with me, and I need to lower my intake. But if you're already so filled with all of these different foods, red meat, milk, you'll be so full that you won't be able to hear your body and feel your body, unlike if it's empty and then you slowly enter and reintroduce it again. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, 100% does make sense. And anybody else?
I would like to add something as well. Sometimes we always neglect some of the major issues which are going in our life, like anger management issues, stress, and also sadness. This is the beginning of the mode where our physical health continues to feel faded, feel unrealizing, not even realizing that we are facing such issues because we don't take these issues on our topmost priority. We always think that this is normal. Yes, having anger is normal, but having serious anger, like every time you're angry on every petty one or the other thing, is not normal. Feeling sad is normal, but always feeling sad is not normal. Stress is normal in life, but always being stressful, always being anxious, always having anxiety is not normal. So, yes, I would really appreciate everybody if you just take this advice that if you want to be physically fit, you have to be mentally fit as well. Let's just align our mental health and physical health together just to be the best version of yourself. That's it from my side.
I really do love that. And one thing that I do want to share that we didn't share here is that we really need to be checking our first morning urine pH. Why is that important? Because when you go down to the doctor and check that pH, your body has already buffered the urine. I think a lot of us heard that if your body is in an alkaline state, that it's going to be a lot hard for the cancer to stay there. But the issue is that if you're not actually checking properly, how are you going to know if you're alkaline? So if you get a pH strips and check your first morning urine pH, you're going to be actually behind the 8 ball instead of the 8 ball going in the hole. You're going to actually see exactly where you are, and you're going to see if you need more minerals in the body. More minerals are definitely important. Why? Because every enzymatic function of the body needs minerals. Calcium, magnesium are definitely something that is 100% needed if you got breast cancer or cancer at all. Why? Because the cells in the body are, they're just trying to take any mineral they can throughout the body so it can start the healing process. But if we don't know that we're low, it's going to be hard. But I want to thank all of the survivors and the practitioners and even the people that didn't show up today. And hopefully we can do this again very soon. But I want to actually show you guys a little bit on what I do for myself, my family, and my clients on how we can reel in this mental health issue. Because one thing I heard was love. Love is something that needs to be more in play. And when love is more in play, it's definitely going to have a better result, according to what the Dr. Zupan said. So let me share my screen here.
Oh, Gregory.
Yeah,
So, at some point, I'd like to go into the male cancer stats as well before we end,
yeah.
just so that we
Just
focus on them. So we're
just
good.
whenever when I'm done this, it's all you.
Sounds.
So can you see my screen? think so. Yeah. So this is how I roll in myself. And I use this program to figure out what was going on inside of me, and it helped me to reconnect with the Lord. But I just go into the inner voice program. You just use your first name, your last name, your email address, height, weight, birthday, and I can make a profile. And once you got the profile in, you just talk for 10 seconds. Hi, I'm Gregory Hall. I'm the Quantum Health Boss. I'm live on this podcast showing people how to figure out what's going on with your emotions. And it's going to go ahead and scan me, and it's going to see what's going on with emotional, physical, and it's also going to give some suggestions on what the issue is. But the biggest thing that I'm going to be looking for right now is where my low emotions are. Because anywhere where the low emotion is, that's harboring the trapped emotions. So, trapped emotions, I would say, is where all the physical issues are. Once we start peeling away those layers like an onion, then we can start to get the part where we start to feel better and get a better result when it comes to healing. And even if you're doing, Western medicine, it's definitely going to give you a better result. So right now, after I scan myself, my low frequency is F. So center low. So let's go and see what it says for my body. It gives you a brief description on how the test is done, but low emotions, it's going to be all the way at the bottom. So let me pull this up. So it's telling me what positive, negative emotions that I might be dealing with. Doesn't mean I'm dealing with them right now, but it's something that you want to deal with. So anybody meet someone that's way too happy-go-lucky, and you're kind of wondering who they are, where they came from, they're never angry, well, you'd be wondering who they are. So you ever been around someone that's way too negative, don't want to be around them, draining your energy, don't want to be around them. But somebody that's balanced, you definitely want to learn more from them. So you always want to try to be balanced. So if you actually line up your top emotion with the positive and negative, just go line by line. And when you see you got more at the bottom for the negative, just line up with the last one. So let's just look at the last one of the positive itself. It says self-accepting of one's own value and worth, which is great. And then I got maybe difficulty bonding with others and could be due to abuse, neglect, or separation from mom. And right now, me and my mom are not on the best of terms, so I could say we're a little bit separated. And I do have poor follow through, but we follow through with this podcast. Hopefully somebody hears it and we can definitely help someone get a better result. But if you see inside the man, all of these highlighted colors, well, these organs are being affected in my body right now negatively. So how do I make it better? I just go down to the bottom. And you'd be surprised how chromotherapy can actually change not only your emotions, but the physical body. So I would wear these glasses for 20 minutes, but these glasses are the color, putting on green, lime green, would bring me joy, enthusiasm, creativity, success, change, balance, freedom, fascination, and expression. Emotions, demanding, feeling loss, and spiritual balance. So I got some issues going on with the blood, the vitamin C, and lipase, which is a digestive enzymes. We all got bacteria, but I got some tuberculosis going on there and some adrenaline and cholesterol hormones. But really and truthfully, we want to know what to do to get a better result. Why? So we're not stuck at the end. Seeing I got to take care of my liver. Seeing I got to take care of digestion. saying I got to take care of the nervous system. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, but by just following this app, I have found helped the hospital find tumors that haven't been found with a CT scan. So, starting it off basic with your voice, your inner voice, will definitely enlighten you to exactly what's going on. And I do give a free consultation and a free scan to everybody. So if you are dealing with breast cancer now, there's other ways in the program to help you. And if you're not, there's definitely ways to make sure that um, you are detecting early. I can detect right from in the womb. So we don't need to wait until we're 42 and 43 to wait for the mammogram. We don't have to wait to do self examinations. So we want to bring on Shannon, and because we don't want to leave the men out. Yeah, the risk is lower than females, but the risk is still there, and we need to make sure that men know that we care about them and we love them too. So Shannon, it's all about you.
Thank you, Gregory. So I just want to, as we said, breast cancer affects men and women. Of course, it affects women more, but when we hardly ever talk about men when we raise awareness. And I've seen several men be diagnosed with breast cancer, and I've seen several men succumb to breast cancer. And so this is a really, personal topic for me because I've actually seen that this happens, and a lot of times they really don't know their risk, and doctors don't tell them that they need to be screened. So I think it's really important that we raise awareness of this. In terms of male breast cancer in the US, it is considered very rare. It is less than 1% of all breast cancer cases in the US, but 1% is 1%. That's just like I was told that I had a 5% chance of being diagnosed with colon cancer at the age of 29. Hey, I fell in that 5%. Somebody has to fall in that 1%, and it could be you if you're a man, or it could be somebody that you love, a friend, a relative, a coworker. So it's really important that you let them know that they need to be screened for this as well and to not be ashamed. Um, each year in the US, although it's less than 1% of breast cancer cases, each year in the US, around 2,800 men are expected to be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, and about 510 will die from it. Lifetime risk for a man developing breast cancer is about 1 in 726. And men are typically diagnosed at older ages around 67, but I have seen younger men in their 30s or 40s be diagnosed with this as well. Because it's rare and less expected, male breast cancer is it's often discovered and diagnosed at later stages, which can worsen the outcomes and increase the chance of mortality compared to earlier detection, which is why that men, you need to get screened for breast cancer as well. Globally, around 0.5% to 1% of all breast cancers are estimated to occur in men. In 2021, there were about 38,800 new cases of male breast cancer worldwide, and the global incidence rate among men is low, of course, but GlobalCan data suggests that 0.5 to 1 new cases per 100,000 men per year are diagnosed in men in many parts of the world, and so that's not too rare when you think about it. Male breast cancer also accounts for about 1% of all male cancers globally. And I think it's really important that we talk about this and we tell the men in our lives that this is another screening that they need to do. So it's not just the colonoscopy, it's not just the prostate exam, it's not just, checking for diabetes or heart disease or anything like that. They also need to get their mammograms and get screened too, or at least when they have a physical, have the doctor do a digital exam, a manual exam to make sure that there's nothing wrong. And then if they do feel something suspicious, then they can refer you for the mammogram. But I definitely think that it's really important, and men also need to learn how to do the self breast exam, because I know several young women where doing self breast exams actually saved their lives and helped them to catch their cancer early. So please, men, make sure you take care of your health. Women, take care of your health. Everyone, take care of your health. If you have kids, you need to think about them too and make sure that they stay healthy. You need to take them to the doctors to get checked out and get physicals. Self-care, as I said, is healthcare is self-care, and it's a way of showing ourselves that we love each other and ourselves. And we need to share our stories, and we need to share these statistics, because we never know whose life we might save. And so it's really important. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. And Shannon is definitely on the track of self care and making sure that you do self exams. Like I just did one the other day, guys, and I have a red light. It's 660 Newton meter light. And doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you turn off the light and put it towards your breast. You can see all the vasodilation going on in the breast, and you can actually see lumps. So you can see what's going on before you get to the doctor. So when you get to the doctor, instead of asking questions, you can be an advocate for yourself and speak up and get the help that you need. But as we transition here, I was going to say survivors, but I got to say we got faith leaders here. And there's two verses in the Bible that I want to leave you with. And that's Mark 5, verse 34, and Romans 12, verse 2. Faith without discipline is just noise. Tonight, we move with purpose. If you are stuck, we have the phone number, 1-855-NOW-BOSS. Doesn't matter when it is. If you hear this, call it. If you have a question for any of our guests, make sure that I forward the questions over to them and they can get back to you as soon as possible. And we'll make sure that we're going to list all of their websites on the description so you can get to them, because we really need to move with purpose tonight. Awareness without action is wasted faith. The divine designed you to lead, not wait. Manage your body, protect your temple, and live like a boss. And remember that 1-855-NOW-BOSS or 1-855-669-2677 is your lifeline. It may save a life.